The following is a reading of the first release of the Twitter files via Matt Taibbi. I'm going to spell his name out for you in case you want to follow him on Twitter. I highly suggest it. His name is Matt, M-A-T-T, Taibbi, T-A-I-B-B-I. Here we go. And before we get into it, I would like to ask each and every one of you if you could do me a favor. Please, please, please like and subscribe. Oftentimes, stuff like this gets buried in the news, as we know. So please like and subscribe so we can get this message out here. Thank you very much. And here we go. The Twitter Files. What you're about to read is the first installment in a series based upon thousands of internal documents obtained by sources at Twitter. The Twitter Files tells an incredible story from inside one of the world's largest and most influential social media platforms. It's a Frankensteinian tale of a human-built mechanism grown out of the control of its designer. Twitter, in its conception, was a brilliant tool for enabling instant mass communication, making a true real-time global conversation possible for the first time. In an early conception, Twitter more than lived up to its mission statement, giving people the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. As time progressed, however, the company was slowly forced to add those barriers. Some of the first tools for controlling speech were designed to combat the likes of spam and financial fraudsters. Slowly, over time, Twitter staff and executives began to find more and more uses for these tools. Outsiders began petitioning the company to manipulate speech as well, first a little, then more, then often, then constantly. By 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another, "More to review from the Biden team." The reply would come back, "Handled." Celebrities and unknowns alike could be removed or reviewed at the behest of a political party. Both parties had access to these tools. For instance, in 2020, requests from both the Trump White House and the Biden campaign were received and honored. However, this system wasn't balanced. It was based on contracts because Twitter was and is overwhelmingly staffed by people of one political orientation. There were more channels, more ways to complain open to the left. Well, Democrats, than the right. The resulting slant in content moderation decisions is visible in the documents you're about to read. However, it's also the assessment of multiple current and former high-level executives. The Twitter Files, Part 1, How and Why Twitter Blocked the Hunter Biden Laptop Story. On October 14, 2020, the New York Post published Biden's secret emails, an expose based on the contents of Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop. Twitter took extraordinary steps to suppress the story, removing links and posting warnings that it may be unsafe. They even blocked its transmission via direct message, a tool Heathrow reserved for extreme cases, example, child pornography. White House spokeswoman Kayleigh McEnany was locked out of her account for tweeting about the story, prompting a furious letter from Trump campaign staffer Mike Hahn, who seethed, "At least pretend to care for the next 20 days. This led public policy executive Carolyn Strom to send out a polite, "What the fuck?" query. Several employees noted that there was tension between the comms policy teams, who had little or less control over moderation, and the safety trust teams. Strom's note returned the answer that the laptop story had been removed for violation of the company's hacked materials policy. Although several sources recalled hearing about a general warning from federal law enforcement that summer about possible foreign hacks, there is no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. In fact, that might have been the problem. The decision was made at the highest levels of the company, but without the knowledge of CEO Jack Dorsey, with former head of legal policy and trust, Vijaya Gadde, playing a key role. They just freelanced it, is how one former employee characterized the decision. Hacking was the excuse, but within a few hours, pretty much everyone realized that wasn't going to hold, but no one had the guts to reverse it. You can see the confusion in the following lengthy exchange, which ends up including Gadde and former Trust and Safety Chief Yoel Roth. Comms official Trenton Kennedy writes, "I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this unsafe." "By this point, everyone knew this was fucked," said one former employee, but the response was essentially to err on the side of continuing to err. Former VP of Global Comms Brandon Borman asks, "Can we truthfully claim that this is part of the policy?" To which former Deputy General Counsel Jim Baker again seems to advise staying the non-course because caution is warranted. A fundamental problem with tech companies and content moderation, many people in charge of speech care little about speech, and have to be told the basics by outsiders, to wit. In one humorous exchange on day one, Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna reaches out to Gadde to gently suggest she hop on the phone to talk about the backlash re-speech. Khanna was the only Democratic official I could find in the files who expressed concern. Gadde replies quickly, immediately diving into the weeds of the Twitter policy, unaware Khanna is more worried about the Bill of Rights. Khanna tries to reroute the conversation to the First Amendment, mention of which is generally hard to find in the files. Within a day, head of public policy Lauren Culbertson receives a ghastly letter report from Carl Szabo of the research firm NetChoice, which had already pulled 12 members of Congress, 9 Republicans and 3 Democrats, from the House's Judiciary Committee to Rep. Judy Chu's office. And that's it. That's the end of the first release of the Twitter files. Stay tuned for the next reading of the Twitter files 2. And thank you for your support. Your likes and comments are appreciated. See you next time.